Well, it has been an eventful weekend in the English Premier League. We've got a lot to talk about. This is Red Card Radio. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whenever you're listening from. Thanks for tuning in. Red Card Radio is a weekly look at the Premier League from three friends who support different clubs. My name is James. I support Arsenal. With me tonight is Brad. He's that way. He supports Chelsea. Down below, that is Sean. He supports Tottenham Hotspurs. Gentlemen, good evening. Hello. Good day. How are you?
I'm good. Hey, I forgot to bring my my pitchfork with me though. I'm sorry.
You'll have to get a torch then.
Got my torch.
All right, let's go. Let's storm.
We are
the Tottenham premises.
Oh, we're going to.
We're not. Yeah. I thought we were storming.
Well, I was going to go to. I was going to go to Stockley Park, but if we want to go to Tottenham, that's
fine. They're close. Maybe we could make a stop on our way to Stockley Park.
Whichever one's closer to Heathrow, we'll go to that one first, and then end up at the further one away.
That's probably Stockley. Yeah.
All right. Before we get into why we're storming both the Tottenham Hotspurs training ground and Stockley Park, if you are new here, if you just stumbled across this podcast, hit a subscribe on YouTube, ring the sub notification bell. If you drop a comment on YouTube, that really does help us out. If you're on one of the podcast sites, first and foremost, podcast people, I apologize to you because I apparently have not uploaded the audio version of this to Spotify in 2 weeks. So, whoops, my bad. If you're hearing this, that means that I did upload this podcast to Spotify and the RSS feed, and it got out everywhere. So I apologize to you if you are a normal podcast-only person. My bad. We haven't gone away. We're still here. But sometimes things slip through the cracks, and so I apologize. But hit a share, follow, send this to your friends. It really does help us out tremendously on whatever platform you're listening to, and we really do appreciate it. We really do. Okay, all that said, what do we have to talk about tonight? So tonight, big talking points. This is high-level overview, things we need to talk about. Bournemouth just shellacked Forest. City shellacked Chelsea.
Yeah.
We kind of have honorable mentions for Leicester shellacking Tottenham. We don't want to spend too much time there. But then Michael Oliver tried to shellac Arsenal, but he failed. Okay. So where do you guys want to start with? Do you want to start with what's wrong, Brad? What do you?
No, let's start with Chelsea. Let's get that shellacking out of the way.
Yeah, tell me.
Yeah, what happened? What happened, Brad?
I never thought I would miss Kepa. Like I would love to have Kepa back in our goal right now. I do not understand why Sanchez is our number one. We have bought 8 goalies for an average price of like 13 mil or whatever, something around that number. We could have had for that same money, Diego Costa. We could have had
Diogo.
Yeah, that guy. We could have had who fits age profile. We could have probably had Donnarumma. We might have even been able to convince Liverpool to sell us Allison for that much. Like, I don't understand why we have 8 goalkeepers and none of them are first choice or should be first choice or would be first choice with any team in the top 6.
So,
Brad,
this is an interesting conversation that you brought up. I also want to talk about goalkeepers. Is that what you want to talk about, Sean?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll let you.
I was gonna ask Brad.
Yeah.
Would you, given they're healthy for sure, like this is health. Just ignore the health part. Would you rather have Vicario or Kinski above Sanchez?
Vicario, yes. Kinski, no.
So
I see Kinski. I'm saying Kinski is equal.
The reason I brought in Kinski is Vicario is scared to get into a scrum, like when it's like really congested in the box, and Kinski is not. He gets in there and punches the ball like it's nothing.
Sanchez
that's why
is in
I
La La
asked.
Land, bro. Sanchez is in La La Land half the time.
That's how Vicario is. That's why I phrased the question the
Like,
way I did.
At
And we
this-
bought Jorgensen. Like, why are we still dealing with Sanchez in net?
I guess
If he is in net come this weekend, I'm rioting.
I guess my question is, and this is kind of I've kind of said something similar to Sean about youth off podcast, but if you've got a senior player like Robert Sanchez who is clearly underperforming, why not try the young goalkeeper and at least get them experience? The problem is that Chelsea are in a battle for the Champions League, and so they want to finish fourth or maybe fifth, and potentially losing points on youth mistakes is kind of untenable. Which again, coupled with the fact that you're losing points, but saying you're losing points because of, I'm not sure you can necessarily say that
Of mistakes.
Sanchez is the reason why you lost the game against City.
Well, I mean, you can say that like both goals are his fault, or 2 of the 3 goals are his fault.
Well, certainly the first one. What's the next one that you're mad about?
The Haaland chip.
Yeah, the one that's the first one where
Okay.
from Ederson up to Haaland, and Sanchez is like caught in two worlds where he's like, oh, do I come? And he's like, oh crap, I can't get there. And then he's just kind of chilling, and Haaland hits it over him. Yeah, sure, that one is bad. But
That was the second one. The first one was Gvardiol when he couldn't hold on to the ball.
oh,
He saves it, but then
yeah.
like can't hold on to the ball, and it runs right into Gvardiol's path, who scores the goal, like walks it into the net.
Oh, yeah, that one. I forgot about that one.
Yeah.
Where he,
Well, the part
yeah.
and maybe this isn't all on Sanchez. Sanchez's errors are just stupidly glaring, right?
The problem is
all 3 goals came. They ran right down the middle of the field.
When goalkeepers make errors, it's glaring is the problem.
Yes. Well, and also, I mean, you could just see like the lack of like they don't know what he's going to do. So the lack of confidence in our defenders have no confidence of what's going to happen behind them. He had 19 turnovers. Homie was just blasting the ball. Like, cool. He gave up a goal because he was out of position. Whatever. Is that going to happen? Probably.
Yeah.
Has it happened 6 times now? Yes. So it's happened too much. 53% of his passes went where they were supposed to go to. Went to our team. 47 went to City.
That's such a disingenuous stat, though, in my opinion.
When you kick it long, that's so hard.
But he's not
when you
supposed
kick
to
it
be
long.
kicking it long. Like, that's not our game plan.
Okay, but the problem is that
and not all of them were long. Most of them were in our half.
So you're
So sure, maybe he's going over the defender to the midfielder, but that's still not getting to where it's supposed to go to.
Jay, Brad, I understand where you're coming from. Vicario before his injury had 100% pass rate. Do you trust that?
Well, 100%. He's passing to the center backs. Oh, listen,
yeah, side to side.
I don't expect perfection. I don't expect 100%. I'm not being crazy.
And that's true, James. I see your face. That's true.
I believe you, Sean.
100% pass rate.
I think 75, 80%.
Sure.
Is fair.
Okay, so you're saying he had a 47% pass rate and 19 passes were errant. So he had like 39.
53. So, but about the same. Yeah, he had about 30. He probably 39 passes. Yeah.
39 passes, 19 of them
20 that landed.
Errant.
And then 19 that went, yeah. That's probably actually right.
The other way around. It's probably like 37. It doesn't matter. But how many shots did City have?
I'm pulling it up.
Yeah, because I'm sure it's a bunch.
15 to our 10.
So 15 shots, 3 of them are goals. So that means he has he's got 12 goal kicks.
6 shots on target.
Okay, but I assume that, maybe they don't all end in goal kicks. That's a fair point. Oh, but you get my point. Is that like, I'm sure a number of his goal kicks went long. I'm sure, and so that's harsh on him. I'm just saying, at least 10 of those are probably long kicks. Okay, whatever. Brad's mad.
I'm disagreeing with this.
Sure. You guys, you look really bad because Kepa is doing so well at Bournemouth.
Yeah. Well, also nobody's taking. So like the problem with Kepa is he can't save anything outside of the box. So if you can get it on goal outside of the box, you're scoring against Kepa, and that kept happening when he was at Chelsea.
Yeah, and I mean,
it's like it's not the Bournemouth style of play suits him that it's not happening.
Yeah, and also Kepa is he didn't. If he was as good as his transfer fee claimed him to be, then he would have started at Real Madrid as well, and that didn't happen.
Correct.
Especially when Courtois got injured. So,
Courtois got injured, and then they played their backup and re-signed their backup.
Yeah, it's funny because we made fun of Chelsea all summer for having 8 goalkeepers and continuing to sign goalkeepers, and you still haven't got that position figured out. And next season, you're gonna have to go with an inexperienced goalkeeper, a young goalkeeper, and so what does that even mean?
Then let's bloody him now. Like, let's get him in there now.
I think if you were, even if you were 6th, I don't know. If you're Tottenham, you should do it because,
I mean, look, it can't be any worse.
It could be.
I don't see how 23 games at 6 errors. That's an error to a goal every 4 games.
Okay, that's fine. I mean, like that's not good, but it could be worse.
It's terrible.
It could be. It could be worse.
Bro, we benched him for Petrovic last year, right? Petrovic can't kick a ball.
I'm just saying it could be worse.
He's a great shot stopper.
I'm just saying it could be worse. Speaking of Bournemouth, what they just beat the socks off of Nottingham Forest.
Oh yeah,
great team.
Yeah, Nottingham Forest were in sole possession. Like they are clear in 3rd position, and I mean they're still clear in 3rd position now. But Bournemouth just destroyed them. What do we make of Bournemouth? Like, are they going to be in the Champions League?
I think my text message midweek was or maybe it was last weekend was suffice of Bournemouth question mark. Really? Like I feel like we all feel the same way of Bournemouth? Question mark?
Like this could just be a super purple patch for them. And what I mean? Like they're just like on a tear right now and like they're just playing really well, but through 23 games, they are presently 1 point off of 4th. Like they're in the thick of it. This top 4 race is actually turning out to be exceedingly exciting. I think it's going to be really interesting when it comes down. I think 3rd, 4th, and potentially 5th could all be Champions League places. Like 3rd, 4th, and like that 3rd and 4th could all be in play. There's no guarantee that Forest don't fall off some. And any of these teams, even down to Villa, who are 4 points off of City, like they've got to be considered, in a shout for 4th. So like you've got 6 teams trying to get into those champions who at this point in the season have probably a legitimate shot at finishing in either 3rd or 4th. That's pretty exciting. And what's even more exciting about it is that only 2 of those 6 teams are traditional Big 6 teams. Right? Manchester United and Tottenham are just languishing at the bottom half of the table. And you've got, big clubs like United, Newcastle, big club, Aston Villa, big club, Bournemouth, not as big, Forest, not as big, but like established. Forest actually is like their 2nd season, so it's not really super established either. But you know what I mean? Like you get the point I'm making. Is that there's a mix here of both kind of like decently sized clubs and kind of smaller clubs. I kind of assume that Arsenal and Liverpool are probably going to finish in the top 4. If either one of them drop out at this point, it would be impressive. But I think my reaction to Forest losing to Bournemouth the way they did is I think Bournemouth probably will finish ahead of Forest. I think that their fundamentals are better. They play more aggressive football. Nuno can be a bit regressive at times and try and just maintain what he has instead of like going for it. And I think that leaves you prone to errors and misfortune occasionally. And so I legitimately think that Bournemouth probably have a better shot at finishing above Forest.
So here's the question then.
Yeah.
If you are Forest right now and you do not finish in the European place, is that a disappointment? Assuming seventh gets seventh or eighth gets European football. I think that's a huge. I think so.
I mean, I think you would definitely be disappointed.
Yeah.
The problem is that seventh is only 4 points away. You know what I mean? And so it's not actually that big of a drop off between third and seventh. And so, yes, I think you're disappointed. I definitely think you're disappointed.
Yeah, I mean, like, this hasn't been that great. Hey, our draw against Bournemouth looks so much better now.
I mean, we lost to Bournemouth. Like everyone.
No, well, I'm saying we drew them 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And then they tore up Newcastle and they tore up Forest. So like, yeah, I mean, this is going to be spicy and interesting. Where do these teams end?
Interesting match coming up at the weekend, but Bournemouth have Liverpool this weekend. So you'll have to check back on Friday to see what we think of that match. And that match is also from the Vitality. That's that Liverpool have to travel to the South Coast for that one. So we will discuss that on Friday's episode for sure. Can we get to Arsenal? So yeah, thank you for your pitch for your torch.
I'm here in support.
Arsenal got massively boned on Saturday.
Okay.
We'll
let you finish.
It was not a red card against Miles Lewis-Skelly. It was not even like questionably a red card. You can't convince me that it was questionably a red card. It's not an orange card, as some of these idiots on the internet are trying to tell me. It just was a yellow card. Miles Lewis-Skelly was a yellow card, and he got sent off for it. This is another round of, you will only see this happen to Arsenal. This is the only time this season you will see it happen, and it only happens to Arsenal. And luckily, we were playing against Wolves, and they are inept in front of goal, and we were able to win the game. But Michael Oliver tried his level best to steal another result from us, and you can't convince me otherwise.
So I have a question here.
Yes, Brad.
And listen, I am all for pitchforks and torches and burning down the place. But did y'all get 3 points?
Sure.
Is Mr. MLS available for selection in the next game?
Yes. Now that
I think Michael Oliver then helped you guys out because you got to rest this young kid, so he didn't have to play the full 90 minutes, and you still got the 3 points.
This is an insane take, Brad. And this is the problem. This is the problem with Arsenal winning the game. Is obviously I'm happy that we won the game. Like, that is a big relief that Arsenal won the game, because it would have effectively killed our season. But the problem is that now we get to paper over the fact that the supposed best referee in England made such an awful call, and VAR just decided to back him up on it.
I think you said, when you said best, I think you meant well paid, the most well paid.
No, Michael Oliver is supposedly the best English referee. I understand. I understand the joke you're trying to make. I get the joke you're trying to make. Yes.
Yeah, 100%. He's been bought.
Yes.
All these Manchester refs have been bought. I do not believe it. I am 100%. This goes right up there with the conspiracy theory that the Super Bowl logo tells you what teams are going to be in there. Going to be in the Super Bowl in America.
Were they right this year?
Yeah, red and green are the main colors. Guess who the teams are? Yeah.
Well, last year wasn't it red and purple or something like that? And
2023, it was orange and purple, and the purple was for Taylor Swift's dress.
Oh, is it?
Still Kansas City. Yeah.
Is it? Be quiet,
Yep.
Brad.
It is, look, next year it's going to be Buffalo versus Detroit.
Because it's blue and blue?
Yeah.
All right,
It's their 2 shades of blue.
Yeah, we'll see. You made me lose my train of thought. Okay. Yes, obviously I am my anger, my visceral rage, has subsided from Saturday when it happened. You guys can attest that
It was amazing.
I used some choice language, and I was very upset. And obviously, picking up 3 points and then having the red card rescinded today is obviously calmed me down. But the problem is that Michael Oliver, whether it is active or passive, statistically has some sort of bias against Arsenal, because he has a rate of 0.06 red cards per game as an average in his career, but against Arsenal it's 0.13. He has of teams that he has reffed 50 times or more. Of teams that he has reffed 50 times or more, there are 4 teams. It's Arsenal, Everton, Liverpool, and City. He has given Liverpool 1 red card. He's given Everton 5 red cards, and he's given Arsenal 8 red cards, and he's given City 0 red cards. His fouls per game, his yellows per game are all statistically higher against Arsenal than any other team.
Okay, so listen, I'm just going to repeat your words to you when I yell about Anthony Taylor. As one of the top officials in England, would he not ref top 6 games more? Would he then therefore not, which are much more aggressive and they are much more hardly fought to win the championship? Therefore, there are more likely to be more fouls and more cards.
Can you tell me why he gave Gomez a yellow card for a worse foul than what Miles Lewis-Skelly did?
Well, the cleat did hit that shin there, like that was spikes into the leg, so dangerous and foul play. I didn't see the Gomez one.
You're just objectively wrong. If you compare the Gomez and the Miles Lewis-Skelly one, the Gomez one, the players, I forget who he stepped on. I think maybe it was Timber. Timber's foot is on the ground, and Gomez's the flat part of his foot goes on top of Timber's ankle and leg.
Bro, why didn't Timber get the red card then? Oh, he's not Shaka. Never mind.
Yes. Okay. Well, we could unpack the decisions against Arsenal if you want to in a different podcast. Maybe that's one for the summer. But if you look at this Lewis-Skelly one, the foot is clearly going in for a trip, and the other player is running, and I don't buy the whole studs into the leg thing. The different angles show different things, and one of the angles doesn't show that the studs actually go into the leg. So I'm not buying that personally. The Gomez was a worse tackle. It was a worse challenge, and he got a yellow card for that. Granted,
James.
It was a second yellow card, and he got sent off. So the end result was the same, but it was obviously worse than the Lewis-Skelly one. That's all. And so you can't come at me with any kind of like, because the worst one was not adjudicated more harshly.
Listen. I agree with you, but that would have been boring as a podcast.
I know.
So.
I appreciate it.
I'm just glad that we're not talking about Tottenham and how they suck. So,
I mean, listen, man, that horse has been beaten. It's right next to the Chelsea 2022-2023 horse.
Yeah.
And out to pasture and broken.
Hold on. My parting shot before we talk about Tottenham sucking.
You got a parting shot? You didn't tell me about this in pre-production.
Yeah, I have a parting shot for we need, and this is not an independent James idea. This is an idea that I've seen floated on the internet. But VAR needs to be decoupled from the PGMOL. It needs to stop being run by the PGMOL. It needs to be run by a third-party organization. And the PGMOL should have no say in who gets appointed to be the VARs, and it shouldn't be ex-refs from the PGMOL. Like, it shouldn't be like Stuart Atwell or someone like that, or you know what I mean. Like the video assistant referee needs to be decoupled from the PGMOL, and honestly, we need to get rid of the PGMOL and fire all these refs because they suck and hire foreign refs for England.
Burn it down.
Yes, it needs to be burned down, but as a reasonable fix that could happen tomorrow, they need to decouple PGMOL's control over the VAR. They need to be separate. So that's my parting shot. Sean, why do Tottenham suck? And when do we get Daniel Levy to sell the club, or at least not be chairman anymore?
So my hope for Tottenham is Daniel Levy is never ever selling.
True.
So my hope for Tottenham is that he just steps down as chairman, and then we get a new decision maker at the helm, and that's the goal. It's because him selling the club or him selling his portion, because he's only a 27% owner.
Yeah.
He just has footballing interests.
Yes.
In his contract.
The problem is that ENIC is the holding company, and he only owns a certain amount of ENIC. He's like a minority shareholder in ENIC, but
it's 20-something%, but he has footballing interests.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah. And it stinks, man. And like you guys can see the Tottenham attrition of we have had one singular center back, registered center back, to the roster for 3 months.
True.
And that's Rado Dragusin.
It's the 28th of January. I'm pretty sure there's a winter transfer window.
And he hasn't done anything. And that's why the fans are turning on Levy specifically. And not Ange. Because Ange is doing all he can, and Levy and Lange are not doing crap to help him.
So yes. And I get, listen, injuries aren't an excuse, remember?
Injuries are not an excuse.
Remember?
Sometimes they're a reason.
No, they're not. They can't be that either, remember? Because I tried to claim injuries, and y'all were like, no.
Hold on. I think
they're not a reason when you have 43,000 players.
And they're not a reason if every season you have historic injury levels.
Exactly.
That's Sean's point, is that Chelsea can't hide behind injuries if Reece James is injured every season.
Every gosh darn season. But so Tottenham's injuries are so far a one-time thing. And I just got the news today that James Maddison is also injured. And I don't know what we're going to do. I guess we play the 18-year-old at right wing and we put Kulu, and I have no idea what we're going to do. We don't have players anymore. We have 10 healthy outfield players above the age of 18. I don't know what else to do. I really don't. And we've got cups to worry about. And it's not like it's slowing down. Like we've got a midweek this week. We play Elfsborg in Sweden. Or no, they come to us.
Yeah.
So we got Elfsborg midweek. We've got a league game, Premier League game on the weekend. We play Liverpool away in the EFL Cup, and then we got FA Cup Villa away. Like it's not slowing down, man.
I just,
and that's in the next 10 days.
Yeah, I mean, I think the problem, it's incredible to me. It's incredible to me that it's the 28th of January and you guys have signed a goalkeeper.
And singular goalkeeper.
And granted...
And I like him.
Yeah,
I think it was a good signing.
It's a good signing, yeah. Granted, it's the 28th of January and Arsenal have signed no one, and we have lots of injuries as well. But the January transfer window is notoriously hard to get things done. So, unless, of course, you're Manchester City, apparently, who had like 4 signings or something like that in January. They've been quite active. I think that's all we really wanted to talk about, because we don't want to belabor. We've talked about Spurs every week for the last 5 or 6 weeks, and we can only say so frequently that we can only ask the question so often. So that's all we got for you guys tonight. I hope you all enjoy it. If you can, make sure you drop a comment down below. Thanks for listening to it, and hit the share button. Hit us up on social media. That guy up top is at KSBradG. Down below is Whiteheart_Sean. I am at James Tiffany. Collectively, we are at Redcard_Radio. Come back Friday. We will have the preview of round, I think it's 24. Should be 24. And we look forward to doing that for you. And until then, I hope you all have a good one, and we will see you all and talk to you all soon. Have a good one.